sisters. Good evening, Eastern youth. Good evening, fellow youth. Good evening, African youth. I want to thank you this evening for your time. We are still battling with the crash of the system because we are discussing a very high-profile secret when it has to do with the mysteries of nature. And it's not really everybody or any kind of priest that have the right or the privilege or the power to discuss these things because these are the secrets. And I want to use this opportunity to tell you that no matter how the forces try to stop us, they can only disturb the gadgets, they cannot disturb us. Because the message has been given and the authority has been passed for us to begin to unleash these informations for men and women out there to know, and then begin to know the point of prayers they will engage in whenever they gather for prayer. It is not time, the time is not now, and the time is now. We are talking about treasure, we are talking about wealth, we are talking about how it all started. When you look at the history so far that we have discussed concerning money and the dollar bill, you will understand that the black race is actually the Israel, not the Israel of today. The Israel of today maintained the name of the nation and live by it. Right? If you look at the history so far, you will understand that the Israel that we are talking about is the black race. The Israel that the Bible is talking about is the black race. Okay, now let us go back to the history. It was during the Herodian dynasty where we were. The first invasion of the African kingdom. Because of what? Because of the birth of Jesus Christ. We do not stop at that. We went further to discuss with you, to pass information that the Herodian massacre did not just only end within the Herodian territory where the Savior was born, but still it extended down to all African kingdom. Because of what? Because they believe that that child has been taken back to Africa where he came from, where their parents came from, and then it was released as an order to kill any male child. It was repeated in Egypt, and indeed the Israel of today, do they have any history of slavery in the information of their existence? They don't have any history of slavery, either to Egypt or to anywhere, or from Egypt, or even in the Israel of today. Jerusalem used to be the hub city, what we know today as World Trade Center, then was Jerusalem. Was also built by these Israelite, the blacks, because that was where we were bringing our oil and our grains to the central market. That is Jerusalem, and a city was built there by these same black people. It was not built by the whites. It was not built by the whites. The fall of Jerusalem caused the return of our brothers to Enugu, to Onitsha, to Newi. They begin to return back. But Imo never moved. Imo was here. He never moved. I am the descendant or the offspring of that black king called the Amadioha Imo. And the information I'm releasing to you is nothing but the truth, the whole truth. And we will continue to say this truth and continue to preach this gospel until it has sounded every ear, until we have come to know and accept it to be the truth. Because that is the truth. The Roman Empire came with their Roman denarius, which cost another goas, but religion stamped it down. Why? Because the Roman Catholic or the Roman Empire or the Roman authority believe that since the war of 20-something years to 30-something years old is just ending, and slavery was the hub of the war. Why? Because men were needed to go and be able to battle the thousands and millions of armies summoned by the Syria, the Philistines, the Palestinians, and I mean all hosts of the Jewish nation came together in search of what? In search of the gold ram of the black man. In search of what? In search of the wealth of the black man that is immense in the central market of Jerusalem. They march forth. Imo continued to resist them, even though they took dominance of some part of Africa, until finally when the Imo failed and rise again as Biafra, he failed because of a sacrilege. So my point today is that our culture is of a sacrificial balance, not a sacrilegious balance. We don't commit sacrilege in our culture, but we perform sacrifices in our culture. So now, if someone in my culture is given the public responsibility and he deceives the public, the punishment is death. Not by man, by the law of the land. That is how my culture operates. But the government introduces the white man, the Western community introduces unto me a culture that allows the evil to exist in my environment. That is slavery. That is slavery. I was introduced into a money that I don't even know how it come about. That the image there does not even concern me. That is slavery. So the money today is the slave chain, shackles, and cable toes on a black man's neck. Is dollar. Is the dollar bill. So Africa, you need to wake up and look into the dollar bill and exit from the dollar bill. America will fall. America will collapse. They are not world power. They are criminals. They have stolen from us. They stole from our fathers. They siphon our economy, and they are still stealing from us even up to today. Let us discuss economic and financial crime. What is economic crime? Economic crime is when a nation has invaded a nation over, either politically or otherwise, either by crook or by hook, or by trade means, invade a certain economy for the sole purpose of gain in subjugation. That is economic crime. So who is guilty of economic crime? America is guilty of economic crime in Africa. The British is guilty of economic crime in Africa. The France are guilty of economic crime in Africa. Now, measure the damages that this nation has caused to you and I, an African man, and now measure their input in trying to rescue poverty in Africa and see if there is any balance in the two. You will discover that these men are playing with our intelligence in the name of poverty alleviation, in the name of improving Africa, in the name of bringing one useless project in Africa or the other. They useless our children. It is time we wake up as a people. It is time we wake up as a people called blacks and then stand against this tyrannical living or system of oppression of these whites that so-called call themselves the saints. But they are the evil of the environment. The guns that are being used to rob and kill people are being produced by these same whites. There is nowhere a black man company is producing a gun. The bullets are being produced by these same whites. The missiles, the diseases, the viruses, the biochemicals, all are being produced by these same white people. And these same white people are giving you and I laws and upon laws, upon laws and upon laws. Who is actually guilty? Who is actually guilty? I don't have a common factory to produce a nail, a common nail. A nail I cannot produce. But I have the resources beneath my feet to produce it. But I cannot. Why? But the white man will come here, take the resources to go and produce that thing. But I am forbidden not to do it. And you say it's not slavery. I think that is the freedom Nnamdi Kanu is fighting for. That is the freedom Biafra stands to project. That we may be able to utilize the God's given gift and the resources beneath our feet. That is what makes us humans. That is what makes us who we are. Now we are running towards election. Everybody is interested in contesting presidential election. Lelen the president contest the lot. Now, where are we? Let me ask you, a youth. Have you asked for your receipt after a purchase when you go into any fast food to eat on a transit? Now, because you don't understand why things are high in the market. Is it the platform that you want to stand on to elect which leader to correct it? They have nothing to correct. The only thing they have to offer you and I is to heap problems, expenses, demand, tax sections upon us. Look at the receipt or invoice of any purchase you made. After value added tax of 7.5%, you are going to pay consumer VAT. Consumer VAT. That tax for consuming, you pay tax for consuming a food, 5%. What kind of taxation system is that? That a citizen pay tax for consuming a food. You see, but we are running into electing a president. Are you not supposed to be burnt with fire? You don't know what you want. Yes, I'm not interested. And whatever ambition any man wishes to carry on. But I don't think our ambition should supersede that of the Father who made us. I don't think we should work according to our own will. We preach that we should walk in line with the will of nature and the will of the Father. Is this evil that we are into the will of nature and will of the Father? The pastors, the GOs, look at it. One day we will be paying tax for sleeping. We will be having sleeping tax. And we will also pay tax for breathing. We will have breathing tax pay. That is the kind of government we are expecting. Because they are practicing that breathing tax now with nose marks. That nose marks you are buying is breathing tax. They are taxing you for the breath you take. You must spend money for it. They pollute the air in a way that you will go and spend money for it, to breathe it. Do you understand the system of government you want to promote? Do you still feel Nigeria should stand under the circumstance? Do you still think we have a nation to protect under these circumstances? Under the circumstances of horror? Under the circumstances of manipulation? Under the circumstances of inhumane treatment or the other? Under the circumstances of imbalanced accusations? That even our agencies are part of our problems. So how do we think we are going to restructure this collapsed nation? Because it's completely a collapsed nation. If you don't see it, I see it a collapsed nation. So let us wake up out there, the youth. I don't think we need election. We need to put the environment in order so that we can know the line of election we will do. I repeat, American nation will pump in money. They will do their Maradona as they used to do. Your vote and my vote does not count. You and I know that President Muhammadu Buhari never won election. It was Atiku's mandate he stole. But we said it was a good one. Testimonies have been brought how much they paid to INEC chairman and his wonderful work, and how much he received to give credit to APC. You and I know the truth, but we say it is good. We all say it is good. America say it's good. Yet we say we are pursuing and we are fighting corruption. Are you not mad? Are you not stupid? Who are you deceiving? Who are we deceiving in this country? So it is time to shut it down. Youth, let us shut down this country and do it right. Because if we don't shut it down, we can't get it right. If we say that we want to be one, then we have to shut down this one that is not one to be able to establish the one that is one. Then if we shut it down, then we don't be able to establish the one that is one. Then everybody should go his way and build himself up. My talent is wasting because of a useless government. But the day I carry a gun, they will remember to come and give me amnesty. They will know that I'm not when I will leave, they will know that I'm leaving. Or the day I go do 419 like horse puppy, they will now know, yes, that I'm supposed to be arrested and be put in prison. So who is actually guilty of this whole economic and financial crime? Let us look at financial crime. I am meant to understand in law that he who purchases a goose from a criminal is also victim of criminal charges. I am meant to understand that. Okay, if that is the truth in the law, he who stole money from his nation and went and harbored it in another nation's purse, and that nation received it, is that nation not an accomplice of fraud? Let us face reality. Youth, I want to ask you a question. Let us face reality. If America truly said they want to fight corruption in the world, money laundering and what have you, let us define money laundering. And let us define financial crime. So both the act and the actee, all are all guilty of the crime. So America receiving the money from our politicians and store them in their treasury, they are also part of the criminals we are looking for. America should be questioned for that. So they should be challenged for that. No one has rights financially to take a fund out of any vicinity to be deposited in a different vicinity. Is a financial crime. The fund is meant for that vicinity. So it should be radiated in that vicinity to sustain growth and livelihood. Now, when you cut it away, you are sustaining growth and livelihood in another land, depriving the people that owns the money. That's a blessing. This is the truth, the whole truth, and not about the truth. So America that all of you run to is surviving because our money is being harbored with them. They are using it, you don't go there. So we want America to return all the money that is stocked with them back to us. Then and see whether America will answer our power. They will collapse. Yes, that is the truth. They will collapse. The Arab world is surviving it because the Islamic government of Nigeria pushes money to Arab. The day it stops, Arab world will start begging food. We know that. So why will I be working to feed these people and I am suffering? I cannot be provided with proper amenities required to live. But the resources beneath my feet is feeding the world and giving them good livelihood. My money is with them. Everything is with them. They still come here and come and charge me for financial crime and economic crime. Is it not time you wake up, youth? Youth, it's time you wake up. It is time you wake up. Abakiere today is being seen as the worst officer, but he has masters. Abakiere has masters who sent him to go and be shooting innocent people, killing them in the quest of political. But the National Assembly and the reps stood ovation for such an idiot. They stood ovation for him. Why? Because he was good at killing people. And for the fact that he is a good killer, the National Assembly or the useless House of Reps stood ovation for that man, an unfair, who derives joy in killing and wasting innocent blood. That is whom the National House of Reps stood ovation for. So House of Reps is sponsoring this man. So the question is, how many House of Rep members are part of this drug deal? That is the question. The question is, how many of our legislative members are part of this drug deal that kept Abakiari in the prison? But we say we have investigation team. The investigation you go do is when you come to Biafra land. That's when you will do the investigation to discover the criminal. But when it concerns you, no investigation will be done. You are champion. Your strength will not be seen. That your intelligence will not be seen because it does not concern Igbo man. It is time we call a spade a spade. Igbo man must exit from this contraption called Nigeria. Nnamdi Kanu is the bet. If you cannot kill him, you cannot treat him like this and tell him you want to reconcile. Give him the nation for which you have maliked him with. That is where we stand. We congratulate you also, the judge, the system, to see that you are stupid and you drop 8 of your stupidity. You will still see your foolishness in the 7 that is remaining and you will drop it. Forget the shame that you will carry. Just face the truth so that you will live and your children will live. Because if you think you want to play Maradona, it will burn like a coal. It will burn like a coal. Nobody will be saved if you say you want to pray Maradona. Oh yeah, it is Sheila. You don't start. So, fellow youth, let us learn to not focus on the money. The money is the devil you and I is fighting. Yes, we need it. We need the money to live. But let us begin to think of a way better than this way with the money. That's a way better. And if we can calm down, we will discover that way better. And then we will have peace. We will not be chasing this money the way we are chasing it. Many souls are trapped in the dollar bill. Many souls are trapped in the naira bill. That is the hell. That is the hell. It's inside money. So now you know where you want your soul to be. We are only teaching you in the way of our culture. We want you to understand that we are not against anybody. In our culture, there is no sacrilege. In our culture, we will not experience this fault we experience in the world today. Our culture is the answer for a peaceful existence all over the world. Give the black man a chance, and you will see that we are the life and the light of the world. There is no light anywhere in the world without the black man. After the period of the Romanians, what do? They come here to kidnap our gifted men, to go and teach them technology, to go and teach them how to produce wine, to go and teach them how they were doing this thing among us. That was how they learned. They knew nothing. They are lazy people. And now when they have learned all these skills, they now know that all what they need is beneath here in Africa. They never let Africa to live till today. But I think it's time for Africa to stand up to her feet. I don't see the reason why we cannot do it. We can do it. And the only nation that bears the light of the energy to do it is the nation of Biafra. And that is why they are stopping it. Ethiopia failed. Because Ethiopia was where our fathers, our armies were destroyed. We were going to go and help David with the war of Babylon. You see why it looks as if Jerusalem failed. Here was the strength of Jerusalem. Because Ethiopia betrayed. The armies never reached Jerusalem before Jerusalem failed. They were to stop over in Ethiopia and regroup and head towards Jerusalem to battle the armies of the Babylonians, the Syrians, the Philistines, the host of the Arab nation. But because of the Treaty of Ethiopia, which made Ethiopia name to remain till today, and Kenya, our soldiers were destroyed. Jerusalem was not able to be defended. This is the secret. And I want you to know that the Israel that we'll talk about is you and I, the black man. It's not the Israel that you see today as a nation. They took the name, they embraced it, and remember the old. But the people that made it is the blacks. Go and find the history. I think some part of northern Germans are settling in Israel today. I think they occupy 80%, if I'm not mistaken, 85% of citizens of Israel, if are the northern Germans, if I'm not mistaken. I think history should prove me wrong. History should prove me wrong. So let us face fact. So if this Africa, where this treasure, where this wealth lies, who has the gold ram yesterday, is now having nothing, relying on your dollar. How? If Africa, where all things lies, is now poor, and you who has nothing is richer, how? How? How is it possible? Okay, let's assume that you paid our parents to buy the materials. We accept. Where is the money? Where is the money? So you don't pay them. You are only feeding them and taking their resources. That's all. You provide food for them. You pack as many as you can. You, when they talk, you kill them. You kill them. So now, how many of our citizens has the British killed because of the oil? I'm not talking about the militants that have died in the water. I'm not talking about the youth who would have died in contest of one thing or the other. I'm not talking about the movement. I'm talking about our leaders who wants good for our people were all assassinated, all because of the mineral beneath our feet. And that thing that they had in mind to make you and I have a better living, even with the immense wealth, they never accomplished it. And that is what kept us where we are today. So how many would they kill? Now they want to kill him and the Kanu. Go and wipe them all out. Wipe them all out. Because they are not good people. Okay. When Nnamdi Kanu was preaching about the cloned president of Nigeria, what America answered them, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, that they will not come and act for us. But they will come and take our oil and go. But they will come and rob our election and institute to whom they want. But they will not come out to say the truth when the truth is required. You see, there is no diplomacy in taking our resources, but there is diplomacy in standing on our rights. That diplomacy is the right of human, the right of mankind. Is this supposed to be a diplomatic approach when it has to do with a right? There should not be diplomacy in any form of right claiming. Right is not added any diplomacy. A human right is human right, be it in London, be it anywhere in the world. We are all human. Human right is human right. So why will America say it does not concern him when it has to do with the black man? And when the British man, why would the British man say it does not concern Nnamdi Kanu did not meet up the qualification of receiving that British citizenship treatment in such a case? Tell us why. You see why we must go as a nation, so that we can stand for our rights. I don't think Nnamdi Kanu, if he is a citizen of a existing nation, Biafra, that they will do him like this. Tell me who? Because he is looking for his nation. That is why he's been treated this way. And your so-called politicians are busy jumping to go and become Mr. President. For what reason? Under what platform? Under which circumstance? Tell me why. Tell me what you want to go and stand there for. Let me tell you, injury to one is injury to all. Today is Nnamdi Kanu. Today it might be me. Tomorrow it might be you. So what is done to one can be done to anybody. So if you say it is good for you, let it reach you. So it is time to end this tyranny. It is time to stop evil. It is time to stand against that which is wrong. In any environment that you are, stand against the wrong. And let us see how we can put it right and correct our environment and build a peaceful, prosperous, and perfect nation that her wings might spread and reach her people all over the world. This is my testimony in the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Subscribe with us, Eastern Youth Network. Like our doing, ask us questions. And for those of you who want a lecture of Chi, I will make sure I give you the best and the truth that is available with us. And I know you will enjoy it. Expect it and look forward to it. I wish you well.